So the item I'm talking about is the Nessmuk knife. Now, if we take a look at this Nessmuk knife, because that's where it is, right? This is the heart and soul of it. I didn't make this knife. I am not a bladesmith. I am not a blacksmith, but I know a guy. His name's Zach Holter of Holter IronCraft here in Ohio, Central Ohio. I've known this guy for 12 years. I actually used to work with him when I was in college. So we've known each other for a long time. He's an Army veteran. And doing his time, he decided, you know what, I really like handcrafting things, and he went to school. He studied under the great Doug Lockhart of Lockhart Ironworks, who you've heard me talk about before. He's trained lots of people who's been on Forged in Fire and who are very successful blacksmiths. So this is just one person who is trying to make a living doing the age-old traditional craft of ironwork. And with the knife, we're going to break down the details about it, but this is a Nessmuk knife in the most traditional sense of the word. There's lots of Nessmuks out there, and honestly, there's cheaper Nessmuks out there. So if you're wanting a cheap stainless steel Nessmuk that's been stamped out and then ground down, then that's fine. You know, I respect that. But if you're wanting to upgrade your kit, if you're wanting to think about that next tier, because you know, having a good quality knife says a lot about your level of campcraft and where you're at. You know, I think most people would rather choose a customized or high-end knife than they would boots or other things, which I find interesting. When you think about it, you use your knife a lot when you're out in the woods. Nessmuk was a woodsman, but he was not a bushcrafter. And this Nessmuk is true to the original Nessmuk's intent. Nessmuk was a hunter, and he was also really into lightweight. Now, unlike other Nessmuks that you find on the shelves or in stores or online today by various makers, this is made from 1/8 inch thick steel. Most are made much thicker steels today because they're made for bushcrafters. Nessmuk was a hunter, and due to lightweight, he tried to cut weight in every way, and honestly, it was just the popular thickness of steel in the late 19th century. And Kephart and Nessmuk both argued for the fact, well, why do you need a big Bowie knife? Why do you need all of this? When in the woods, that's not exactly what you're doing. You're not fighting a bear or anything. What you're going to do is a little bit of woodscraft, and if you're a hunter, you're going to need to field dress the animal, and you're going to need to skin it. And that's what this knife excels at. So if you're going to beat on the knife to split a chunk of wood, please look elsewhere. That is not what this knife is. Nessmuk carried a hatchet, so did Kephart. I suggest you get yourself a hatchet or an axe, or maybe carve yourself a wedge or something, but do not beat this knife because it is a tang, a rat-tailed tang inside the natural deer antler. And that's another beautiful point, is that every single knife is going to be unique. Mr. Holter is sourcing white-tailed deer antler. So we got a lot of white-tailed deer here in Ohio. That's kind of what we're known for as far as our big game hunting. And every single piece is going to be completely unique. And before Christmas, he's only going to be able to make 6. So if you're wanting on the list, then you need to reach out to me and let me know that you're interested. So as he makes them, it's first come, first serve about what's available. And you get to hand pick your own Nessmuk. Now, as far as functionality, it's a knife, right? Like I could show you how to do some feather sticks, and I can show you how sharp it is. Let's grab a piece of paper and I'll make that really clear. All right, so we got a piece of paper here, and we got the knife. So as you can see, it's plenty sharp, all right? It's a knife. I personally sharpened it myself, made sure that the edge was really good, and the bevel is a sabre grind, because that's really important in knife, people. And the reason why it's a sabre grind versus a Scandinavian grind is because if you've watched my various knife videos, when you're processing animals, when you're doing anything besides woods tasks, there are lots of better grinds. If you're going to do woods tasks, then you want to go with a chisel grind or you want to go with the Scandinavian grind. But for everything else, you either want to go with a convex or something like a sabre grind. Now, Nessmuk himself, he had a sabre grind on his knife. So that's what we're staying true to, with a very, very fine V edge that's put on up to 1,000 grit stone. Because you're not trying to shave your beard with it. Anything higher than that is really just polishing the edge, and it honestly can make your edge pretty brittle. And that's not what we want when we're trying to process meat, especially a large animal like a white-tailed deer or something else. I hope this goes out west and maybe helps butcher a bear, a moose, an elk, or maybe even a nice ram, but we'll see. But going back to the knife, the Nessmuk is a 5-inch blade, 1/8 inch thick, sabre ground with a fine V edge that's put to it. The handle itself is just going to vary based off of the antler. This is actually Mr. Holter's knife. He's keeping this particular one, so this one is not for sale. I know a lot of people really don't care for the longer curve, but Mr. Holter himself really likes how it kind of grips down here in the pinky. So right there is really the usable length that he's focusing on, and he really likes having the crown of the antler down there like so. So this is not for sale. This isn't going home with anybody besides Mr. Holter. But yeah, that is the Nessmuk knife. It'll do everything that you need to do with it. It'll even process wood if you really want to, but where it really shines is when you are processing a game animal. Whether you are field dressing it, you're stabbing it in, and because of that false edge there, you're not going to pierce the internal organs. When you're skinning it out, you can use it like so, and because of that nice belly, you can get there in the really tight areas. And when you're trying to peel apart the skin from the meat, you can hopefully see how this is going to be really beneficial. And then if you decide that you want to keep the hide and you're going to do some traditional tanning, you can either be very careful with the edge, or you can even use the spine. You put it on a board and you can use it as a scraper. This is an all one purpose, really nice hunting knife, and it is so light, which is important when you're going out in the woods and you're trying to use it and handle it for long periods of time. Now the cost of this knife before Christmas is going to be $250. That does not include shipping. If you decide that you want the knife, you send me an email. I'll send you an invoice because I'll need your address to know exactly how much for shipping. But it's not going to cost a whole lot to ship. But $250 after Christmas is going to cost $300. Now you're not just getting the knife. Of course, you got to have a nice quality sheath. Now I am hand making the sheath personally in-house, and for the people who buy the first 6, only the first 6, I'm going to include a dangling rig, and I'm going to show you some really cool features about this particular rig. Now first off, in this current configuration, it is set up so you can dangle it. This goes around your leg, and you got the snap that easily moves with you, and this goes on your belt. Now if you want a more basic traditional knife setup just to put on your belt by your hip, which is how I generally carry it when I'm just walking out in the woods, then you can take off the strap, take off the little hook, and you saw how easily that was done, and now you can put this around your belt. Now it is made of roughly 9 to 10 ounce leather, so it's nice and durable, and it's hand finished in lots of different ways. So first of all, if you're not familiar with leathercraft, cheaper sheaths, they're just straight cut, but we take a beveler and we hand bevel everything. And then we, of course, hand stitch everything with waxed linen thread. And this isn't just cheap linen thread, this is waxed linen thread. And we have to slick it. Now, some people use water. I like to use leather dressing. So I put the leather dressing on it and then I slick it down to give it that nice, good finish. And all the edges are going to have that bevel. It's going to have the key points reinforced by the copper rivets that are hand riveted by myself. Now the strap itself, as you can see, it's rather long, so depending on the size of your leg, you can trim this down. But I really like the idea of using a leather strap versus a string, because I had considered a string, because how simple it is, just run a string and tie it around your leg. But as far as comfort, I don't like the stringiness, the the tightness the string gets you. I like having something a little bit wider, and it feels more comfortable around my leg. But of course, you could always just use a string if that's your style to go through the loop. I also like the idea of having a strap, even if you're just using it in a traditional way, that you can use this to bundle around something, to carry it or to tie it down or what have you. So just having an extra leather strap is just kind of useful. Now the rig itself comes into two parts. The part that goes around your belt, and I decided to use a buckle system instead of just looping it around because I'm 6'1", and not everybody is as tall as I am. So this offers a little bit of adjustment, which is pretty handy. But it's really quick to just snap it on and snap it off, and your knife is going to be protected and you can carry it with ease. And I'm going to demonstrate really quick how important having that adjustment and having that freedom to move back and forth is for when you're doing some specific hunting activities or mobilization activities. Let's take a look. It's designed so it can sit roughly at this point. So as your arm is straight, you can reach and you can grab the knife. Now the reason why I like it this way for the dangling rig is so I can reach out, and because of the friction of the tie coming against your leg, you don't need to hold your sheath. You can just take it out, do whatever you need to, find your sheath, and you can stick it back in. And I think that ease is really important, especially for the woodsman, for the hunter, having just an extra set of hands to grab this. And I don't really necessarily like drawing it up this high when I'm going to use it quite a bit. Another good use about this is when you are sitting. So as you can see, you're sitting around the campfire. Due to the snap and its ability to move with that ring, it's really easy to just sit down and it doesn't bind up on itself. There's none of that friction on the D-ring to grab it. But if you're driving in the car, it's also something that's nice, just be able to sit down in your car. You don't have something that's sticking in between your car seat, your truck seat, or what have you. It is right there. And again, if you need it because you're sitting around the campfire doing something, you can just grab it like so and stick it back in. So this rig, I think, is really nice to have for this particular knife, especially for hunting or just general woods use. Nessmuk himself, he did not have this type of sheath. So full disclosure, Nessmuk actually carried his knife in his hunting bag. He had a built-in sheath that was attached to his hunting bag, and that's how he would carry his knife. But onto that, with that kind of thought process about, well, how often are you really wanting to carry your knife on your side? Because sometimes you don't want that extra weight, or you're just not going to use it, and you already know that. So what else can you do with your knife? When you decide not to use the dangling rig, this D-ring can come in handy because you can tie other things to it. You can even connect your keys to it, and it can just dangle there, and your keys are out of your pockets. I really don't like having a lot of things in my pockets. But you can also use this to attach to your pack. And you can either tie it on or use the strap like so to attach to your pack. Or in the case that you are a haversack person, let's take a look and see how I can attach this to the haversack. If you follow my channel for a while, you know I really like this type of haversack that was actually used during the Spanish-American War, and the Boy Scouts later even adopted for this type of pack to be used, so it can be used as a backpack. But it is just a haversack. So one of the nice things you can do is you can take the strap off like so. You can run the D-ring through it. Go to the bottom, and now I can snap this and carry it on my haversack, like so. Now, if that dangle kind of bothers you, and if you got a D-ring like I have here, you can either tie it or you can strap it down. Like so. And now it's not going anywhere. your knife's right there, and it's out of your way. You can use it in that kind of way. You can also attach it to the side of your pack, your back of your pack. The possibilities are endless. This is just one idea of how to use this type of system to benefit you when you're out in the woods doing whatever you do. This is a great combination of American-made items that will serve you well, serve your kids and grandkids well for generations to come out in the woods, whether it be camping, hunting, fishing, or what have you. I just want to say two important things about this that I hope you keep in the back of your mind. So even if you decide not to purchase it now, later on, you might consider it. This channel has been focusing on historic gear. Gear that lasts lifetimes. Gear that has been able to be passed down through several generations at this point. And that kind of legacy is something that's really important to me. That's the kind of legacy I want to leave my own kids, my own grandchildren, and things like that. So there's two things. First of all, I want to say that I am going to personally guarantee anything that I make for life. That right there, I hope, says a lot. So if it gets damaged, if something happens to it, you can send it back and we'll replace it and for life. There's gear like Duluth Pack Company, which I love Duluth Pack Company. I'm actually now an affiliate for them. But you know, that kind of integrity that companies can stand behind their products and say, hey, if something happens through wear and tear and it falls apart, send it our way and we'll either fix it or we'll replace it. That's unheard of in today's society. For the most part, it is completely unheard of. But just like Duluth Pack, this brings me to my second point. This is American made. This is something that I'm really, really proud of. And I'm not saying that American made is necessarily better than everything, but there is a heritage to American made items that, being an American, I'm honestly really proud about it, and I'm going to be loud about it as well. There's lots of great products that I stand behind from other countries. Like my favorite straight razors are not American straight razors. My favorite straight razors are English steel straight razors or German steel straight razors. And there's a reason. They've earned that acknowledgement. And for the most part, American-made items has kind of got that reputation that I want to be a part of and something that I want to be able to stand behind. The Nessmuk is starting us off right, and it's a beautiful knife. And it's lightweight, easy to use, easy to handle. It's very comfortable, and because of having a little bit of nature with you everywhere you go, it's just, I don't know, I find it a comforting feeling. This is going to make your hunting life, your camp life, more fulfilling. Every time you look at this, it's going to be a piece of art. Every time you look at this and use this, you know it's backed by a guarantee. Every time you use this and look at this, you know it's American made, and ultimately it is going to serve you well. It will slice, it'll dice, it'll chop, it will skin, it will gut, it'll do everything you need a good wood and camp knife and hunting knife to do. 100%. You're supporting Mr. Holter, an Army veteran, a veteran-owned business. You're supporting me and Honorable Outfitters and my family and everything that we were hoping to do for this channel, for the outdoor community. And you know, if you buy one of the early 6, put down $25 deposit and it gets taken off the overall cost. And if you decide that you don't want it anymore because something comes up, then just let me know and you get a full refund. But you get the rig. After that, after the Christmas time, all you're going to get is this right here. So you can still use it as a dangling rig, but it doesn't come with all the extra parts. That's going to cost extra. The price of the knife and the sheath is also going to go up to $300. This is an introductory price. We're trying to get the information out there, get some feedback from you guys, get some reviews and everything, and honestly just help support those of you out in the outdoor community during the Christmas season. So this is just an introductory price. Afterwards, it does go up. You can buy the kit, and even if you got maybe you got a different dangling rig, and you want to buy this little section here to turn your current knife into a dangling rig, then we're going to charge $50. starting out, $50 for all this, and it is all hand done, hand finished, made of quality Latigo leather. This will outlast you and me combined. Like Latigo leather, as long as you take care of it and everything, this is going to outlast you 100%. I guarantee it. I put my name on it. I put my own work on it. So if anything does happen to it, just send it back to Honorable Outfitters and we'll fix you up. Backed by a lifetime guarantee. And if that's not all, if you want a nice belt made from beautiful Latigo leather, the same leather that your sheath is made from, so it all matches, then I'm selling the belts for $30. So you get a nice long belt, send me your size, and we will hand make it right on the spot to match your beautiful Nessmuk knife, Nessmuk sheath, and the dangler rig. So send me an email. The email is below in the description box. Make sure to reach out and let me know that, hey, I want to put a deposit on that knife. And as soon as Mr. Holter gets them put out, first come, first serve, we'll send you a picture of your knife and, well, of the knives available, and you get to choose. First come, first serve. So I hope you get excited about this. I hope that my name, my reputation, Mr. Holter's name and reputation speaks for itself. And as always, if you have any problems, just let us know. So I want to thank you for the time that you've given me today to talk to you about this great product. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch me talk about these great products. I'm so excited about this. I'm so thankful that those of you who have watched this channel, supported this channel in one way or another, has helped me get to this point where now we're actually giving back and contributing to the outdoor community by offering something to sell that I am willing to put my name on it. I'm willing to put my own research on it, my own knowledge on it, my own everything behind it. This will make your life, your children's life, your grandchildren's life better. Guarantee it. So anyhow, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Give a kiss out to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.